Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodanandanam Braja Janardana. Yasodanandanam Braja Janardana. Yamuna Tera Vanacha. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janardana. Yasodanandana Braja Janardana. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sirate. Jaya Radha Madana Mohan Radha Madana Mohan Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Sri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Itai Gaur Shitanath Premanande. Hare Krishna. Is this a better place for morning's Bhagavatam class or over there? It's the same. Yeah, but at least here we have a little bit of, what you may say, privacy. As the pilgrims, they will have their privacy over there. So I think it's a good idea. But someone says, oh, why don't we have this get air-conditioned? Someone commented like that. But I think this is the best because this is the original, the way how it was when Srila Prabhupada was here. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Krishna Kamini Prabhupada Shri Sajam Prakash Viraja Charan Kirmanshad Bhagavate Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyanam Gyana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguru Shijuta Padakamalam Shigurum Vaishnavamscha Sirupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha. He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dīna Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanespari Visabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we continue reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, Chapter 2, Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text number 67. The verse is also originally from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So we're going to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And since it is the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so we will also chant Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ite cāṁśa-kalāḥ puṁsaḥ kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam indrāri-vyākulaṁ lokam mṛḍayanti yuge ite cāṁśa-kalāḥ puṁsaḥ kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam indrāri-vyākulaṁ lokam mṛḍayanti yuge cāṁśa-kalāḥ kṛṣṇastu bhagavān svayam indrāri-vyākulaṁ lokam the proper etiquette is that we should next time, because we have to know. This is the time for me to say, Mataji's. Kṛṣṇastu bhagavān svayam indrāri-vyākulaṁ lokam mṛḍayanti yuge yuge ete cāṁśa-kalāḥ puṁsaḥ kṛṣṇastu bhagavān svayam indrāri-vyākulaṁ lokam mṛḍayanti yuge yuge ete this cha and aṁśa plenary portions kala parts of plenary portions puṁsaḥ of the puruṣa-avatāras Kṛṣṇa Lord Kṛṣṇa 2 but bhagavān the Supreme Personality of Godhead svayam himself indra-ari the enemies of Lord Indra vyākulam full of lokam the world mṛḍayanti make happy yuge yuge at the right time in each age. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace H.H.Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada K. All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the puruṣa-avatāras. But Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. In every age, He protects the world through His different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. Everybody please repeat. All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the puruṣa-avatāras. But Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. In every age, He protects the world through His different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. Purport. This statement of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, Chapter 3, Text 28, definitely negates the concept that Sri Kṛṣṇa is an avatar of Vishnu or Narayana. Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa is the original personality of Godhead, the supreme cause of all causes. This verse clearly indicates that incarnations of the personality of Godhead, such as Sri Rama, Nisingha, and Varaha, all undoubtedly belong to the Vishnu group, but all of them are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the original personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa. Ite cāṁśa-kalāḥ puṁsaḥ kṛṣṇastu bhagavān svayam indrāri-vyākulaṁ lokam mṛḍayanti yuge yuge. So this verse was quoted from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, First Canto, chapter 3, text 28. In that chapter, the chapter also is given Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here, Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So according to the Shastra, there is no difference between Lord Kṛṣṇa, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Ram, and Lord Nisinghadev. They're all in the same equal level. But again, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Kṛṣṇa, they are non-different, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, as mentioned here, that the incarnations of the Supreme Lord are either plenary portion or parts of the plenary portions of the puruṣa-avatāra. In the material world, how the creation took place is by the puruṣa-avatāras, Mahavishnu, or Karnadakashai Vishnu, who is lying on the coastal ocean. From him, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu manifests, who is also lying on the water, Garbhodak ocean. And from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, all the parts of the plenary portions, that means the avatars, manifest. But originally, Mahavishnu came from Lord Shankarshan, the second quadruple expansion of Lord Shankarshan. And then before that, the first quadruple expansion, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. And then before that is Lord Balaram. And before that, Lord Kṛṣṇa, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So everyone, all the different incarnations, either they are in the Vishnu Tattva category or the Jiva Tattva category, they all came from Lord Kṛṣṇa. He is the origin of everything. An example was given, just like we may see here, we have different light bulbs. Like here we have a nice chandelier, or inside the life membership office, there is also bulbs that illuminates that room, and this too illuminates this room. And then in the main temple room, there are different bulbs. Now, they also emanate certain effulgence to brighten up nighttime. But all of this is coming from a powerhouse, the lighthouse, the powerhouse. That means all of these energies coming from these different bulbs, coming from the main source. That main source is Lord Kṛṣṇa. So now we can have 10 watts, 15 watts, 60 watts bulb. So these different avatars coming from Lord Kṛṣṇa, they exemplify a certain power according to the function that they want or it is needed. That means Lord Narayan has the capacity also. There's no difference between Lord Narayan and Lord Kṛṣṇa. Most of the times, those who are not well versed in the scripture, they will say that Lord Kṛṣṇa came from Lord Narayan, who's having four-arm form in the spiritual sky, the Vaikuntha planets. But this is not so. Because according to Lord Brahma, and again it was quoted here from before, First Canto, chapter 2, text 11. That the principal word, bhagavān, indicates the personality of Godhead, and Brahman and Paramatma are concomitants, detached. says here. Concomitants deduced from the absolute personality of Godhead. There is a quotation. Let's go to this verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, chapter 3, text 28. So, the question is, are all these avatars equal or are they graded? What is the question again? Who knows the answer? Are they all equal or are they graded? That means there are different power. Obviously not. Because we've heard again from the scriptures that these different incarnations of the Supreme Lord they're coming from Lord Kṛṣṇa originally. He is the source of everything. That verse, Isvara Parama Kṛṣṇa Sachid Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karna Karanam. So the transcendental autocrat, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Kṛṣṇa, he is having this form which is transcendental, full of knowledge and bliss. It's the same with the avatars. They also have the same quality as Lord Kṛṣṇa. Their form are also full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. But somehow, some of them, we've heard, there are different kinds of avatars. The first ones, the Manvantar avatar, puruṣa-avatār, Manvantar avatar, Shaktyavesh avatar, yuge avatar, lila avatar, and guna avatar. Different kinds of avatars, but not all of them are in the Vishnu Tattva category. Some are Jiva Tattva category, just like Srila Prabhupada. He's an empowered incarnation of the Supreme Lord, Shaktyavesh avatar, to spread all over the world the holy name of the Lord. He is a universal teacher. He's empowered to disseminate knowledge pertaining about the Supreme Absolute Truth. But he will not say, I'm God. He will say, or in that matter, no incarnations of the Supreme Lord will declare that they are the Supreme Personality of Godhead or they are empowered. We can see from the activities that they perform, according to the scriptures, declared and described the different symptoms of these different avatars. The first incarnation of the Supreme Lord is mentioned here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, just to make it quicker for all of us. Who is the first incarnation of the Supreme Lord? Who is the first? No. In the material world. We're talking about in the material world. The Kumaras. Yes? The Kumaras. Then, the boar incarnation. This is mentioned in the 3rd chapter. Kṛṣṇa is the source of all incarnations. Then Devarshi Narada, Narayana, Lord Kapila, Dattatreya, son of Atri, and Anasuya, Yagya, the son of Prajapati, Ruchi, and Akuti, King Rishabdev, King Prithu, Matsya, Kurma, Dandvantari, Mohini Murti, Nishingha, then Vamana, then Parasuram, or Brigupati, Vyasadev, the son of Satyavati and Parasar, King Ram, Balaram, and Kṛṣṇa, Buddha, Kalki, who will be the last incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So it's not that the first one is a Vishnu Tattva. Ultimately, all of these mentions here, there are many more, as the avatars of the Supreme Lord is compared to the almost many or unlimited rivers, rivulets, and they all end up in the ocean. So also another example is that the unlimited incarnations of the Supreme Lord is compared to the waves. We will not be able to count the waves in the ocean. So, again, how do we know Kṛṣṇa is God, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And we mentioned this earlier in one of our meetings, that Srila Prabhupada, he asked one time his disciples, how do you know Kṛṣṇa is God? So many of his disciples not be able to make any comments. They will recite later on different verses from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pavartate. I am the source, both material and spiritual worlds. Aham bijapita. I am the seed-giving father of every living entities. And also from the Brahma Samhita, as we mentioned earlier. And Prabhupada will say, yes, yes, yes. But then ultimately he says, you can know Kṛṣṇa as God because you can feel it. It's not just based from the Shastra. You can feel it. So later on in the Japa walk, he mentions the same question. And one of the disciples were present in that class. And also, he also was present in the Japa or morning walk. And Prabhupada asked the same question. How do you know Kṛṣṇa is God? And the devotee was just waiting. Everyone quoted again the same verses. And ultimately, Prabhupada says, yes, yes, yes. But he knows the answer. He knew the answer. And then when he raised his hand and he says, oh, because you can feel it. Kṛṣṇa is God. Especially when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in the pure state, we'll be able to understand that there is no difference between Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Lord, and His name. So Prabhupada says, when he says, because you can feel it, he says, no. You can know Kṛṣṇa is God because you can feel it, and the Shastra also is saying the same. So, Kṛṣṇa, in that statement, definitely the text 28 of chapter 3, first canto, definitely negates the concept that Kṛṣṇa is an avatar, or Vishnu, or Narayan. But again, in the same chapter, Kṛṣṇa and Balaram, they were also mentioned as avatars. Either it's 18th or 19th, or 19th and 20th. So how is that? That he's considered as an avatar. It mentions that he is an avatar because he descended from the spiritual world. This is the meaning of avatar. One who descends from the spiritual world for a specific function. So when Lord Kṛṣṇa came, he took birth in Mathura. And that makes him an avatar. But not in the essence that avatar, expansion. He is avatari. He is aṁśa. Avatari. He is the source of all incarnations. All the incarnations are within Lord Kṛṣṇa. The same here. All the incarnations are within Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Others are parts of the plenary portion or plenary portion. The different avatars exemplified or express different opulences or aishwarya of the Supreme Lord. Kumaras, they have transcendental knowledge. Narad Muni is also an avatar. Sometimes, even in the Jiva Tattva, they're called bhagavān. But Kṛṣṇa is the purna bhagavān. Purna is complete. Svayam bhagavān. 100% bhagavān. King Prithu also, in the Jiva Tattva category, he is the exemplifying that position of an ideal monarch, ideal king. Matsya is also a Vishnu Tattva, directly a plenary portion. King Prithu, he exemplified the executive function. So there are other lower in grades of power, and they're called vibhuti, like the Manus, Devatas, or the sons of Manu and the sons of Lord Brahma. So how we can be able to fully understand Kṛṣṇa as a Supreme Personality of Godhead? It is, again, we have to follow the procedure as given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both to the brothers Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Ultimately, the process is by sadhana bhakti. There are three types of bhakti: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prama bhakti. The prama bhakti is our goal. But to reach that goal, we cannot jump immediately in prema bhakti. We have to do the preliminary process called sadhana bhakti, which comprises of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and then Raganuga bhakti, cleansing the heart of the anarthas, 6 enemies of the heart, namely, what are they? Yes, lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy. And the thickest of all is envy. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the only thing that's stopping us to attain pure devotional service is that concept, a misconception rather, of I, me, and mine. Who is free from that? Of course, no one will raise your hand. We have to work hard on that one. I, me, and mine. Possessiveness and external possessiveness. That includes family, friends, and loved ones. The life in this material world is temporary. It can burst any moment. It's like bubbles in the ocean or bubbles in the river. It can burst. Our life is so short, we have to be very, very sincere in such a way to follow, especially at the time of initiation. Some, they think, oh, I got my first initiation, that's it, I already made it. Or then again, later on, will demand from Guru, I want second initiation, second birth. If we're not be able to follow the first initiation, the agreement towards the spiritual master to chant minimum 16 rounds every day, follow the regulative principles, read Srila Prabhupada's books every day, get the association of the devotees, then how we can expect to go back home to the spiritual world is not possible. So it is like a step-by-step. It's a scientific process in order for us to understand who is Kṛṣṇa, who am I, and what is my relationship with Him. This verse that was quoted in the Srimad or Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is the Paribhasa Sutra. Paribhasa Sutra. Paribhasa Sutra means this is the, it defines, it describes the whole chapter that Srimad Bhagavatam, that Lord Kṛṣṇa is the source of all incarnations. And then later on, I've read here, let me try to get it for you, that the main Paribhasa Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam was given by Lord Brahma. Just a moment, please. Oh, here. Narayanas tvam nahi sarvadehinam atmasi adi shakila loka shakshi narayano gam narabhu jalayanat tatchapi satyam na tavaiva maya. I'm sure Ramakanta Prabhu knows this verse. He's our Panditji here. This is the Paribhasa Sutra of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Paribhasa Sutra means it gives like with one sutra or this one verse defines or describes the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Is that correct? Yes, sir? O Lord of Lords, this is Lord Brahma speaking. You are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. Are you not, therefore, my father, Narayana? Narayana refers to one whose abode is in the water. Born from Nara, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And that Narayana is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They are absolute and are not creations of Maya. This is from the 10th canto, chapter 14, text 14. So, all these different incarnations coming from the Supreme Lord, and they exemplify, certain extent, the Aishwarya, or the opulences of the Supreme Lord. Either they are in the Vishnu Tattva category or the Jiva Tattva category. Few examples here. Narada, Vyas, Varaha, and Buddha show Dharma. Exemplifies or show religion. Rama, Dhanvantari, Yagya, and Prithu displays fame. Balaram, Mohini, and Vamana displays beauty. Dattatreya, Matsya, the Kumaras, Kapila display knowledge. Nara Narayana, Kurma, and Rishab displays detachment by their actions. So once again, understanding our position and understanding Lord Kṛṣṇa and what is our relationship, this has to be understood. Otherwise, we'll not be able to make advancement in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. We just don't follow the rituals and every day coming for Mangalartik, chanting our rounds and doing some service. We have to understand our position. And Lord Kṛṣṇa, it's like in the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada says, in the beginning, just try to accept Kṛṣṇa is God. In the beginning, we didn't have any understanding why we are chanting, why we are, of course, it says, chant and be happy. But ultimately, chant and go back home, back to Godhead. Chant Hare Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. Becoming free from sins by chanting is also a part of chanting. But ultimately, by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we'll be able to realize our position also. And many times, Srila Prabhupada will hammer again and again in his lectures, in his classes, conversations, morning walks. We are not the body. And yet we're still acting on the bodily platform. Bodily platform means mental platform. thinking, making plans, thinking, feeling, and willing. I met one devotee in America, and he says, Maharaj, I'm planning to move to Alachua. And he's living in Puerto Rico. Oh, you must have passed the thinking stage. Now you are planning. And what will be the next stage? You will go there. So we have to analyze every actions that we do. Prabhupada says, at least we should come in the mode of goodness, platform of goodness, and come to the Madhyam platform. Don't stay in the Kanista or Prakrita Bhakta. Kanista Bhakta means neophyte. Neophyte, we have to go beyond that. Neophyte means is very possessive again. He only sees Kṛṣṇa and himself. He doesn't see anybody. Unlike in the Madhyam platform, he sees the ignorance, he sees the envious, he sees the devotees, and he sees the Supreme Lord. In the neophyte stage, one cannot attain love of God. Love of God can be attained in the Madhyam platform, and ultimately, in the Uttama platform, you already have love of God. You already understood. But again, in the Uttama platform, he says they come down to the Madhyam platform to preach. Srila Prabhupada is always in the Uttama platform, but he came down also to preach. But we don't call him as a Madhyam platform. He's always in the Uttama platform. And as far as I just some kind of realization that Srila Prabhupada, he has many disciples. In Srila Prabhupada, we can see all the qualities of a pure devotee and also all the opulences, just like of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Now here, many disciples. Now, we will not find in any one of his disciples having the same opulences and qualities as Srila Prabhupada. Up to a certain extent. It's like one disciple can be good in management. One disciple can be a scholar. One disciple can also be able to engage many in bhakti. But to find all of this in one person, only in Srila Prabhupada. So I just kind of like compare Srila Prabhupada to Lord Kṛṣṇa in having all of these opulences and qualities. And as disciples, if we combine all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, that is Srila Prabhupada. We cannot say, oh yes, there'll be no other Prabhupada in the next 10,000 years. No one will be in equal or greater than Srila Prabhupada in the next 10,000 years. Because after 10,000 years, Prabhupada says there's no more Haribol. It's so degraded. Kali Yuga is so degraded. So we should take advantage, especially those who live in Vrindavan or who's visiting, to enrich yourself, absorb oneself what Vrindavan is offering to us. As we've heard and read this morning, Srila Prabhupada says, we should try to catch Kṛṣṇa. And Kṛṣṇa is ready to be caught. Prabhupada says, it's an opportunity. Kṛṣṇa is giving us everything, all the facilities. But who is taking advantage of this? If we don't take advantage of this, then we are unfortunate. So we should be fortunate. And whenever we can take the chance or every opportunity to do some service, especially service to His devotees, that is the best. To serve the devotees of the Lord is the highest, higher than serving the Supreme Lord Himself. Because we cannot serve Supreme Lord directly anyway. Even when one goes to the altar, we're doing it on behalf of our Guru Maharaj, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. So, Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's been declared by all the Shastras, ancient Shastras. So as much as possible, again, there's different. We need to have a good understanding of the Shastra. But then again, Prabhupada says, just try to develop your love for Kṛṣṇa, because we'll not be able to fully understand Lord Kṛṣṇa. He's unlimited. The moment we can understand Lord Kṛṣṇa, then He's already expanding Himself. It's not possible. Try to develop our love for Kṛṣṇa. Just like the Brajabasis. They don't know anything. They don't care whether Kṛṣṇa is God or not, whether He is a great demigod or a very, very powerful human being. They just want to increase their love towards Kṛṣṇa. And for that matter, that's what makes them always engage in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Hare Krishna. Yes, sir.
Because I haven't asked the question in a couple of days. No, you already answered it, but it seems a little bit intelligent and mind-consuming to think about Kṛṣṇa and Balaram and the quadruple expansion, Vasudeva and Yuge, and then again a second quadruple expansion, and Mahavishnu, and
Yes.
and Shiva-Vishnu, and all the different Shakta-Vaisha-Avatāras, Guna-Avatāras, Lila-Avatāras. Why do we have to populate our intelligence with so much complication? Can't we just love Kṛṣṇa with every devotee?
We can do that, sure. But we should be able to defeat a person who will negate Kṛṣṇa as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to be sound philosophically also. Isn't it? If we meet a person, because in the Shiva Purana, it says that Lord Shiva is the Supreme. But Lord Shiva is a Vaishnava also.
Sometimes I think they're too complicated. The brain shuts down and we start thinking, I'm not going to be able to maintain all this or understand it all. So maybe it becomes a bit of an obstacle or a bit of a challenge in my existence.
Is learn something. At least read the Bhagavad Gita. Who reads Bhagavad Gita every day? Huh? Yes, good. At least read the Bhagavad Gita. But then later on, you want to know more. It's like you want to develop love towards somebody, so you want to know more of that person. And this will come automatically. In the beginning, I don't know what I was reading. When I had the Bhagavad Gita, when I bought the Bhagavad Gita from LA through mail, through post, I cannot figure this out. It's simple. I cannot figure out who is who, especially the first chapter. Even right now, I'm still a little bewildered. Who is who in the first chapter? But then the more you read, Prabhupada says, along with chanting Hare Krishna, one should also read my books. And my only criticism to my disciples is that they are not reading enough my books. If we go tell someone, Kṛṣṇa is a Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have to convince him. Or if they ask, you're distributing books, do you read these books? No, my dear sir. No, my dear sir. We don't read them. We just distribute them. So how are we going to be able to convince? See, the more we chant and the more we read, the chanting becomes more relishable. And the more we chant, whatever we read, it becomes more relishable. So both ways. As Prabhupada says, I didn't write these books just for selling. I wrote these books for my disciples to read, grand disciples. But it's not necessarily that one can develop love for the Supreme Lord by reading. We have many stories from Chaitanya Charitamrita also. It's like that Brahmana in South, where he's reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita or the Bhagavad Gita. He doesn't know how to read, but his guru told him to read. But then he's crying every time he reads the Bhagavad Gita, and everyone is laughing at him. So Lord Chaitanya asked him, why are you crying? Oh, because I am so touched by how Lord Kṛṣṇa took that position of being subordinate. How can God be a chariot driver, Parthasarthi? So, just understand whatever you can. Read whatever you can. We have many, many scholars in our movement, but we don't have to be like them in order to love Kṛṣṇa. At least we should be greedy in service, but not to the extent that we are committing Vaishnava Parad in the name of serving Lord Kṛṣṇa. Pushing them away. You have to share. The more you share, the more you'll be happy. Sharing means giving, and giving means loving. So you attain love of God. I know some devotees, they don't want to give their own service to others. Am I like that? I don't want to give. No. This is only my service. No. You can have a little bit of break. Okay, you can do Monday. I do my service 7 days a week. I can give you Monday. Or I can give you Tuesday. Now Kṛṣṇa, you'll get more bhakti points in that way. Any other points or comment? Yes, over there. Last 2 points or comment over there. Last one will be the brahmachari.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for the class. We know that there are Dashavataras.
Yeah.
So in that one, only like Narsingadev and Lord Rama, we are like worshipping them in deity forms. Whereas other avatars, we are not worshipping as a deity form. Some only few we are observing their appearance days. And others we are not doing, like Matsya, Kurma and all, and Parashurama, we are not
what is the question?
Observing also. So can you tell me the difference, why we are doing so?
Well, each and every one of us has this special attraction towards the form of the Lord. So some are very much attracted or attached to Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Some are Sitaram, Lakshmana, Hanuman. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told us we are followers. We should follow in the footsteps of the Brajavasis. It is not that if one worship Lakshmi Narayan is lesser. Huh? The intimacy towards the Supreme Lord is different. Some are in the Aishwarya mood and some are in the Madhurya. So some places and not many temples they have. Do you know any Matsya temple? Or Kurma? There is Kurma temple, yes. Adi Kurma. Kurma that Adi Keshava. Oh, there are some who are attracted to a different form of the Lord besides Lord Chaitanya, Lord Kṛṣṇa, and Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimhadev. Some of these incarnations are actually, they manifest because a certain function has to be done. But it says also that all of these incarnations, they have a spiritual planet in the spiritual world. So, again, just like, who is that? Murari? He's attracted too much to Lord Ramachandra. He was trying to be convinced by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saying, no, worship Lord Kṛṣṇa. Yes, I will. But then the next day, he's still Ram Bhakta. So whoever attracts you the most, the form of the Lord, it doesn't matter whether he is, the Supreme Lord is not being worshipped by majority, that's fine. That is your choice. And there is nothing wrong with that. Okay? Okay. Get the microphone quick. Thank you. Yes,
Hare Krishna
Saranga
Maharaj.
Prabhu.
Maharaj, books you read in like Bhagavat Subodhini, his sequence is given like Baraha or puruṣa-avatāras in first, before Matsya-avatar.
Yeah.
But according to Bhagavatam, what we know, by 10 incarnation, this Matsya-avatar is the first incarnation. Matsya incarnation is the first incarnation.
Well, this probably not in the order, but according to our understanding, let me see. We mentioned what? The Kumaras. The Kumaras, then the boar. And then, Devarsi Narada, the Narayan, Lord Kapila, Yagya, and then Matsya. During the inundation after Chakshusha-manu protected Vaishvata-manu, keeping him on a boat. So, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha was there, and there are two types of Lord Varaha. There is this reddish color and this whitish color. So again, it's different kalpa. A different kalpa. But the origin of origin, we have to accept what the Bhagavatam says. Is that okay? Different kalpa, different chronological order, different lila happens. So how can we understand this? That, Lord Nrsimhadev or Hiranyakashipu usurped the post of King Indra. So that must be in the heavenly planets. Yes? So how is it in Ahobilam? Lord Nrsimhadev appeared also and he killed Hiranyakashipu in that mountain. And here it is in the earthly planet. A different kalpa. It's not in a chronological order in that way. Huh? Let's go.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for a wonderful lecture. So lastly you shared that we have to, every day we have to read, like this, Prabhupada wrote these books for reading, but like once we are in temple, like...
How come? It seems to be you're very far.
Yeah.
Speak to the mic.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Okay, so like last point you shared, Maharaj, like Prabhupada wrote his books for us to read.
Yes.
Daily we have to read.
Yes.
But once we are in temple, once we are back in temple, or there will be lot of services. Still, once we, even though we try to read, we cannot. It's very difficult to complete books, and
It's difficult, but it must be done. Especially brahmacharis. This color means to increase one's knowledge of the absolute truth, to acquire knowledge of the absolute truth. This is one of the meaning of lal kapra,
yes.
saffron. It doesn't matter, even if you have a lot of service, you must find time. Prabhupada was getting some complaint from one of his servants. I don't have time to chant. Especially if you serve Guru, it's very demanding. Prabhupada says, then you must cut your sleeping, and you must cut hours. The time you sleep and the time you take prasad. Find some time. Okay?
Yes.
It is a must. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. From the shalok, Krishna always take a side of Indra. Nowadays, Indra makes too much offenses against
Always take the side of Indra?
Indra, Krishna.
Not all the time.
No, as far as Bhagavatam is concerned, Krishna makes so much offenses. Vishnu's,
Yeah.
Prithu Maharaj, Alya, beheaded his Guru
Now, in
Maharaj.
this verse, the enemies of Indras means the demons.
My question is, Maharaj, on the other side, demon makes one mistake and Krishna punishes him at once.
I am not understanding. You're the opposite of him. You're too close. Don't go too close. I cannot understand.
My question is, Maharaj, Krishna always takes the side of Indra. Not so many
Not all the time. Not all the time. Not all the time. He commits offenses also.
As far as Indra is, he make many offenses against Vishnu always. And
So what is the question?
my question is, why shouldn't he punish Indra when Indra is making offenses to Vishnu, Prithu Maharaj, Alya, beheaded his Guru Maharaj?
I don't understand. What? Okay, so? Huh? Indra is making many offenses. In what way? Taking his side? No, Krishna is equal to everyone. He doesn't take sides. He says, I don't have, he doesn't take sides. He's equal to everyone. Krishna, he performs many activities which sometimes we cannot understand. So, don't try to understand now. Chant Hare Krishna and read Prabhupada's books. Everyone, including those who is over there. Hare Krishna. Okay, now 24-hour Kirtan department time.